Welcome to In the C-Suite with Fred Castrovinci. On this show, I sit down with New Jersey executives to explore their leadership journeys, the pivotal moments, the challenges, and lessons that have shaped their success. We will discuss high performance, innovation, and the key traits that drive successful leaders. On today's episode, I'm honored to welcome Dr. Michael Johnson, president of the New Jersey Innovation Institute of NJIT, which partners with businesses and governments to turn ideas into solutions. Before joining NJII, Michael was CEO and co-founder of a life science startup, which he sold in 2021. Michael has also worked at NASA, but more recently authored a book on personal wellness called The 1% Dad. Michael, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Fred. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the intro. A lot of kind words.
I appreciate you taking the time to be here. I know you've got 3 little ones at home, including a newborn.
Yes.
How's that going for you?
It's good. It's going harder for my wife, who's not sleeping, but for me, it's okay. I got 1-on-2 with the 2 other guys, and they're behaving themselves, so I'm very happy with that.
You get to sleep, though?
I do. Not a lot. I sleep quickly, so I try and go to bed 10:30, get up at 4:45, and get after it.
But a solid block of time.
I'm getting sleep. My wife is not.
All right. Good for you, and I wish her luck. It does get better.
Yes.
I promise you.
You learn that the third time around, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is. So a lot of things to talk about here. You were Forbes 30 under 30, NJ Biz 40 under 40. You sold this company that you started, and why are you still working? Haven't you done it all? I mean, you're good, right?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, why do you work? Why did I do a startup? What's the motivation behind all that? For me, doing a startup was never about the money. It was never about the title. It was always about the impact. I am a scientist by background, so I've always loved building rockets, blowing stuff up, playing with robots. But for me, I always want to have an impact in sciences and build things that actually help people. And in the case of medicine, bring medicines to market that let people live longer and healthier lives. So for me, entrepreneurship, business is a mechanism by which to do that. You can also make a lot of money, which is nice. It's nice to do that as a side effect. But for me, I view business and entrepreneurship and the work we do at NJI as something that allows us to get those innovations actually into the marketplace as products and services that help people. So I like working. I do like doing what I do.
So talk about some of those experiences now that you're already seeing as you're engaging. You're becoming the link between the university and the real world in New Jersey.
Right, exactly. So our mission is to be a conduit between NJIT, the state's polytechnic university, and the outside world. It's really difficult for the average person or company to leverage the resources of academia. But in this country, almost all of our basic research innovations come from universities. Yes, companies innovate. We're an innovative company right now. We're filming this. But most of it's actually coming from academia. The things that really change the world are a guy and a girl who's in the lab for 10, 20 years just trying to figure something out. And one day they do. A lot of times they don't, but one day they do. And that thing can change the world, but it gets stuck there. It's tough for the outside world to work with it. So we're the conduit between that innovation and the outside world, finding the partners, the corporations to pull all that stuff together. And like you alluded to, we're in businesses each and every day talking about things like AI, talking about tools, talking about innovations they have, and trying to facilitate those things becoming reality. So going to a small business, understanding if they have no competency in computer science, how do we help them adopt an AI tool that helps them with scheduling or registration or kind of simple things that they don't know how to start or get started with. So we're in there trying to help with that every single day with small businesses.
I know that you're very active in posting on LinkedIn. Right. One of the quotes that I love you put in a post was that the universe favors action over inaction.
Right.
It sounds like the things that have happened in your career and the way that you are as a leader also happen because of your boldness and the way that you just take action.
Right.
So let's bridge that a little bit to what your leadership style is. You now have a staff of how many people at NJI?
100 or so. Yeah.
100 people. So now you're a leader. You went from being an independent scientist to co-founder of a company,
right,
and now you lead 100 people.
Right.
How do you lead?
Well, it's a funny question because I started Visicall. I never really had a formal job, right? So I jump into running a startup and you're CEO on day one and you're like, what the heck do I do now? So I had never taken a business course. I'd never taken a leadership course. You're thrown into it and it's like, well, what is my style? How do I manage people? How do I lead people? The most important thing are having the right people around you. It's all about the team. When we started our company Visicall, it was having just great people who were all in, that had the same values, the same mission. They were there for the right reasons. It wasn't about money. It was about impact. It was about doing really cool stuff every day. And for all of them, I promised them on day one that you're going to work here. You won't make as much money as your colleagues at Bristol Myers Squibb or Pfizer. But what I can promise you is your career will be accelerated because you worked here and the experiences you got. And every single person we hired, I made that promise to, and they lived up to it because they realized this is an opportunity to advance my career. And they moved 10, 15 years ahead of where they would have been if they went to a traditional career track. Now, with NJI, it's a bit of a larger organization, but it still comes down to the team. So the management team that we have, they're all really good in their respective areas. And it's making sure when there are deficiencies or things they need help with, is being there as a manager, trying to understand exactly how you can help them, but you have to trust the people you work with and put them in a position to be successful. And then also just constant check-ins and being really accountable. So I very much so believe in setting very clear objectives for every single person on my team, hold them accountable for those, and they're pushing those down and constantly meeting on those and saying, hey, this is our objective and key result for this quarter. Why are we behind? How do we actually change that and have a process to go and adjust that? And that's something I just believe in. So accountability, having the right team, but then also meritocracy. So believing in hard work. So people who work hard, they benefit from that, promoting those people and showing that. And that bleeds throughout the rest of your organization where people see that those people who put the effort in are promoted and they move up and they advance. So rather simple, I would say basic blocking and tackling, doing what you say, what you're going to do, never lying, always saying the hard things, like all those basic things you learn like early on in childhood and sports, I try and move into my leadership style.
You now are in a position where you have a high performance job, you have a high performance family. What is it that you do to keep yourself balanced and maintain your own personal wellness?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's difficult. And I always say this to folks that you look at someone in their career and they're super successful, but you're just looking at one dimension of their life. And there's so many other dimensions to who we are and what we do that you can become a billionaire. I truly believe if I wanted to just be a billionaire, I could do it. But everything else in my life is going to suffer. My own personal health and well-being, my relationship with my family, my spouse, my kids, it's going to be awful. So it's how do you balance all those different things? And I would say for me, that's been a pursuit I've had ever since I sold my company. So when I was running a company, I was working 100 hours a week as a startup for almost 10 years, and I did not have any balance.
So you lived it. You knew what the other side looked like.
Right, and that was partly one of the reasons I wanted to sell the companies. I didn't have that at all. And there were a couple of interactions with my family where my dad actually pulled me aside in like 2020 and was like, you're being a terrible son. And it was like, you missed Easter, you missed this thing.
Terrible son.
Yeah, I mean, like hard facts from your father.
Usually terrible husband, terrible father, but terrible son is like,
that's a tough one.
That's pretty tough to achieve.
Yeah, and I did it. And and I was like, well, he's actually right. I'm doing a terrible job in this aspect of my life. And that led me to start just thinking about how do you become great in all those different aspects. Yeah. So like you can focus on one dimension, sure, but like how do you do it in all of them? And that's like the pursuit I'm working on. But I'm always trying to multitask. Like I'm on the elliptical, I'm reading a book while I'm on the elliptical. If I'm going to the gym, I'm listening to a podcast or listening to an earnings call or trying to learn something. So it's always trying to maximize time, but you never actually solve it. You're always in the pursuit of it.
Yeah, it's about the journey, and I highlight the book here, 1% Dad. I read the book, being a father of 3. I have very high standards for myself. My family has high demands. They're active. I've been involved in personal fitness my entire life. That can't end, right? And if you can't be a person that gives off energy to the room, and you certainly do that, you're going to be the person that sucks the energy out of the room. Right. And I really appreciate some of the lessons in here. Also, some of the tricks when you're traveling, tricks when you're out to a lot of cocktail dinners.
Yes.
Just share those 2 tips because I find them fascinating.
Yeah, when you travel, it's like a food desert, right?
Yeah.
So you're on an airplane, you get like a bag of peanuts and like a glass of soda. It's just terrible. You go to the airport, there's no real food options other than like terrible fast food. You're going from meetings, there's not much to eat. And then you show up to like your conference and you get like a sub with like half a piece of meat on it and like some Coca-Cola and pizza.
And a lot of bread.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're traveling, it's extremely difficult. So in the book, I talk a lot about like how to prep for that. So And I also thought about like emergency situations. So like if there's literally nothing else but fast food, what do you eat at McDonald's that's actually healthy? What do you eat at Chick-fil-A? Like how do you make that happen? For me, it's packing lots of protein. It's planning all my meals ahead of time when I'm traveling. Not only am I looking at my hotel, I'm saying like, okay, is there a gym in the hotel? What's nearby? Where can I work out? I'm always planning that. Like I'm planning my meetings, my family commitments, and also during the week, I'm like, all right, last night I worked out at 10 o'clock because that was the only time I could fit in yesterday and I wanted to work out yesterday. So I did. But then, with the other stuff like cocktail dinners and drinking.
Talk about the alcohol.
Yeah, so alcohol is such a big component of a lot of business culture, but alcohol so bad for you. The thing that's probably worse for you isn't even the calories, it's the fact you can't sleep after you drink. And I noticed for me, I can't recover if I don't sleep. If I go out one night, have a few drinks, my sleep's terrible. And I'm like on the razor thin edge all the time of like how little sleep you can get by on. So like
work, kids, and then you threw alcohol and you're going over the edge.
That one drink pushes you over the edge, and then what happens is you're gonna get sick, you're gonna get a cold, you're gonna get the flu, you're more susceptible to that, and boom, now you're 2 weeks behind, and everything about your life is all thrown in disarray. So for drinking, when I go out, and this is a secret in the book that you'll learn, is I pretend to drink. So I'll get a drink, I won't drink anything of it, I'll pour it into the sink, I'll get an amber bottle of beer, pour it out, not drink it. So like you do it because you don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, I'm not having a drink because people think it's funny, but like I don't actually drink, and it's just not something I want to do, and I don't have the bandwidth for it.
I appreciate your honesty and boldness to share that. Because you're making an active choice, a conscious decision. I want health and wellness, and I want performance on this side more than I do on the drink side. So good for you. Great lessons in the book. I appreciate this. One thing I do want to end on is ask you, what are tips that you have for young professionals coming up in the workforce?
Yeah, something I point to everyone is that the world today is more difficult than it's ever been. And the example I always use is The Simpsons. So like in the 90s, you have Homer Simpson. We're all going to be better than Homer. But Homer, he was a guy, one income house. He's got 3 kids, he's got a 4-bedroom house. He's doing a terrible job at a blue collar job, but he's not stressed at all. And you look at New Jersey today, to own the median house, you have to have a top 1% income of $200,000 a year. So like position we're in today is a lot tougher. And the advice I have for young folks is always just like get anxious, get working and get after it, because it's harder. The game is harder than it was before. You're playing on a much higher difficulty, and it's going and taking a lot of opportunities. It's not just getting in an average job and staying there, because then you're going to have an average life, which isn't what it was 20 or 30 years ago. It's not as good. So I always stress for folks, like the time between your 20s and mid 30s, that's where you make all the gains in your life. If you're in your top 1% of your income bracket at that age, you'll still be there in your 60s. But if you're in the average, you're probably going to be in the average the time you're 50s, 60s, and 70s and paying for it later. So like that's the time to get after it. And people say like, oh, what about work-life balance? It's like, well, the cost of work-life balance in your 20s is way higher than if you get it in your 40s, 50s, or 60s. So those are the things I stress. I mean, people don't want to hear that. Like, I want to enjoy my time after college, but that's like really where you have to get after it and go after every opportunity, every door that opens up that you want to walk through, go after it. That's the time to get ahead and really push your career forward.
Okay, so I'll leave it there with the words of get after it.
Here we go.
Dr. Michael Johnson, thank you so much.
Thank you, Fred.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
I'm honored to welcome Dr. Teik Lim, president of the New Jersey Institute of Technology. Dr. Lim's experience ranges from the private sector to academia, including research scientist, professor and dean at the University of Cincinnati. He served as interim president of the University of Texas at Arlington prior to his role at NJIT. Dr. Lim, welcome.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it's great for you to be here. You've been at NJIT for how many years now?
Almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years. And since that time, I notice, according to U.S. News rankings, NJIT is the number 80 nationally ranked, which is the highest in history.
Yes, this is the highest we have been in history.
Number 34 for social mobility. The Princeton Review ranks you as number 27, best value nationally, and then number 1 in New Jersey across the public universities. Is that right?
I think so, yes. For 143 years, this has been the highest that we have ever been ranked. When I first came here, we have been on an ascension already, and my job to steepen the ascension, and we have done that. The U.S. News ranking that you cited, we were a little over 100 when I arrived here, and we got down to 80 in just a short 4+ years. I think what's most impressive is a couple of days ago, and entrepreneurship is something that you understand.
Yes.
We were ranked by Princeton Review number 19 nationally for graduate entrepreneurship. And that's phenomenal because if you look at who's in front of us, those are all very formidable, spectacular private public institutions. So we're in a good company.
That's incredible. And as a leader of people, you are performing at very high levels. What's been the biggest challenge for you over the last 4 years that you're at NJIT as a leader?
Right. I don't look at things as challenging. I look at it as opportunity. It's a paradigm shift that we always look at.
Yes.
Because I believe the constant in life, and you know that too, is change. Okay, whether the change is a little bit or a lot. Today we're going through massive transformation in technology, transformation in environmental and political, globally. And so we pride ourselves as preparing students, okay, for these challenges. They have to adapt, they have to flourish in the midst of these challenges, and we have to do the same thing. So looking for opportunity is what I've been doing since I arrived here. Opportunity to continue to enhance the reputation of this institution.
So talking about your engagement as a leader at the university, what is your leadership style, especially when it comes to engagement?
Right. I think for me, okay, is a leadership, first of all, you have to have a vision. And then you have to then empower people and let subject matter experts do their job. I call myself a micro collaborator. I shared it with a friend of mine a long time ago, and he said, "Oh, you made up that word." I said, "Yes, I did make up that word." What a micro collaborator does, okay, as opposed to a micromanager, is a micro collaborator is interested in what the peers or the subordinates or others are doing around you.
Yes.
But the micro collaborator is willing to collaborate, but not tell you exactly what to do, to kind of let you make the decision because you're the subject matter expert.
I heard a story about you at the university engaging with folks at every level to the point where that's how you got this tie. Can you tell me that story?
Sure. When I first came here, I need to learn about NJIT. And you know this. If you know everything about your institution, you can do better in making decisions. So I made a decision that twice a year, I try to visit every unit on campus. So once I finish one cycle, I start another cycle again. So when I first arrived there, one of the group that I visited is the custodian. And they were so impressed that I came and visited them. They say, no president usually shows up. They show me how trash are taken away. How
Did you ride with them?
I rode with them on the golf cart, and they show me behind the scene how things operate within the institution. So they were so happy that I visited them and tried to understand in a micro collaborator way, okay, what things they do. They made me this tie. This is one and only one that we have. Impact
that NJIT is having in New Jersey. Talk about the number of students, alumni, connection to the business world. What impact are you having in the state?
Yeah. So people ask me, what is NJIT? And I tell them three things. Of course, we're higher ed, but the first three things is, one, we're a school of opportunity. Talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not. We're here to provide the opportunity. Two, okay, we're an economic driver. Our activity plus the activity of our alumni, we have about 80,000+ alumni worldwide. I think probably there are more that we lost track, but about 2/3 of them live in the Northeast. Many of them are in New Jersey. So their activity plus the corporation that they impact, collectively, NJIT's impact on the economy of New Jersey is $2.8 billion annually.
$2.8 billion impact to the state of New Jersey from NJIT graduates.
And NJIT itself annually.
And itself.
Okay. And the third thing, okay, is I know all the presidents out there might not agree with me, presidents of a university,
yes,
but we are the greatest technological talent and knowledge producer in New Jersey. Do you know that 1/3 of all the engineers and scientists working in New Jersey receive a degree from NJIT? 1/3. If you fly into Newark, it'll say New Jersey has the highest concentration of engineers and scientists, which is true. We're small. This is a high-tech space. It attracts a lot of talented professionals, especially scientists and engineers. But 1/3 of them working in New Jersey receive a degree from NJIT. So that's the impact of NJIT.
I can certainly share that in what I do in commercial banking at Valley. I come across contractors, engineers, architectural firms, and I'd be hard pressed to run across any of those firms in New Jersey that did not have founders or CEOs that were your alumni or people that worked at their firm. I mean, it's amazing how many folks that I run across, especially even as recently at your gala, seeing the amount of people that are involved in commercial and industrial businesses in this state that are still very connected to the university, and that was pretty impressive to see.
And in fact, that's the spirit of NJIT. We were established 143 years ago in Newark to help the industry, the bubbling industry in Newark. So till today, our education is very practical. Our students leave NJIT workforce ready. They get onto the job and they get to work, and they become very productive and very impactful.
Let's talk a little bit about advice, any other advice that you might have for younger students, executives, professionals that might want to take on leadership, that want to grow. I mean, you shared about doing hard things, saying yes. What other traits do you look for in leaders that are throughout your organization or outside?
Right. I think there are a few principles that I follow, and obviously, there are many books and talk shows about that, but these are the things that actually work for me, and I hope people who listen will find it useful. Number one, the first and foremost, you have to listen and you have to learn. The fact that I'm the president of NJIT, I don't know everything. In fact, I don't know half of the things that's going on at the university, right? We have people who are specialize in solar observatory, people who specialize in different type of in AI, in healthcare, in fintech. I don't know everything.
Really smart people.
Right? Yeah.
Although you're pretty smart yourself. I think you're an international leader in structural vibrations and acoustics, modeling and simulations tech. I'm not sure what all of that means, but the fact that you sit there and say there are people that are smarter than you in other areas, and you acknowledge that and embrace that.
Yes.
It speaks volumes about your humility as a leader.
Right. So I tell my kids that they ask me the same question. I say, that just brings food to the table. Don't worry about that. Well, listen and learn, because and then the other one, is you need to include everyone in the solution. I think diversity is the strength of an organization. A diverse organization, whether it is demographic, people from different walks of life come together racially, it create a stronger team dynamics, and we have to recognize that putting everyone together gets a better solution. And so I try to include as many people as possible, and so that actually works for me, so to speak. The other thing I also wanted to do, is that going back to my micro collaboration technique, is that you want to show interest in the things that people do around you. Because if you show interest and you give them the environment, to be able to be successful, they'll flourish. They'll do a lot for you. You have to create a followership. I at one point in time a while back, I was at a university and we were comparing notes with another president, and I asked the question: is your chief of staff working for you, listening to you because he or she is afraid of you, or he or she believe in you? You want one that believe in you. You want to create a followership. Right.
And I think we'll end it there. Listening, caring about people, being collaborative, creating diversity. I think we'll end it there, Teik. I really
got one more
appreciate
thing. You didn't mention that.
Yes.
With any executive today, you have to embrace AI.
You have
it's
to
here
embrace
to stay.
AI.
It's here to stay.
And
don't be afraid of it.
We had a class with Tracy McDonald at NJIT, and the instructor said, you have to assume that today's version of AI that you're using is the worst that it will ever be.
That's right.
It's only getting better.
Yeah.
And
technological transformation is so rapid today. You just have to keep up.
And you're at the forefront of it, so I appreciate you being here. I appreciate what you're doing for New Jersey, and thank you for taking the time.
Well, I appreciate having the time to chat with you. It's been great.
This was fun.
This is fun. Wonderful.
Thank you,
Fred.
Appreciate it.